Quality, service, atmosphere. You're next in the chair. Feel at home in the barbershop. G. Bush offers a fresh cut on sports. The barbershop isn't just grooming for guys. It's culture, it's lifestyle, it's sports. And it's now the barbershop is giving the sports scene a sheer shave and shine. Join the makeover now. Follow Garrett Bush at gbush91 on Twitter.
So let's get right off into this situation. I can't help but listen and watch all the time. For a team that hasn't won no games in a long period of time, for a team that has never really been about winning no championships, and for a team that's been really bad for 30 years, I've noticed something of late. I've noticed something. If you take a look around every single channel, whether it be your Fox Sports, whether it be your ESPNs, whether it's your, any of those major networks, right? I've noticed something that's happening. When you turn on Fox Sports, right? When you turn on ESPN and you look at Colin-Cowherd, you look at Stephen A. Smith, you look at Nick Wright, you look at Shannon-Sharpe, you look at whether it be Skip Bayless, Marcellus Wiley, any of your big name guys, any of your big name host prognosticators, ask yourself one common denominator. Who they always talking about? Who they always got in their mouth, right? Who they always leading off the shows with? I think this is interesting because I don't never really quite hear them talking about some of the people who you would naturally assume that are better than your Cleveland Browns, right? For what it's worth, Lamar Jackson has won a MVP. But I rarely hear them talking about Lamar Jackson in the same way that Baker-Mayfield gets a lot of attention. Every time I turn the TV on Fox Sports after a Browns game, who you see? Nick Wright is always talking about him. Brandon Marshall always talking about it. Marcellus Wiley always talking about it. And before your boy, fat boy Jason Whitlock got shadow realmed, he always kept the Browns and Baker-Mayfield in his mouth. You know how Skip Bayless and Shannon-Sharpe give it up. So I think about it, and I'm watching Stephen A. Smith and I'm watching Max Kellerman, and every single week, it's your greatest hits. It's the greatest hits of who's who talking about the Cleveland Browns. And I thought it was funny. For a team that ain't never won nothing, for a team that ain't never done anything, the Cleveland Browns get the most clout. Cleveland Browns get the most airtime. Cleveland Browns get the most conversation. Cleveland Browns, for the team that got the ugliest quote unquote uniforms, for the team that don't got the team that don't have no logo, for the team that plays the mistake on the lake, for the team that's all hype, for the team that, the quarterback, they don't got a quarterback. Their quarterback is the 15th, 16th, maybe the 20th best in the league. For all that to be said, the Cleveland Browns sure get the most airtime in the league. Think about it like this. For a 20th best quarterback, 25th, Baker Mayfield is probably the most talked about quarterback in the league. It's arguable. It's arguable if he's probably more talked about than Patrick Mahomes. Seriously. I see just as many Baker Mayfield commercials than than the Patrick Mahomes commercials. Aaron Rodgers got commercials. Think about the people who have no commercials. I don't see no Deshaun Watson commercials. I don't see no Lamar Jackson commercials. I don't see none of those. And those guys are bona fide superstars. Bona fide, been putting up big numbers for a while now. Right? Both of those guys, if you ask any people in the league, probably will say it's definitely better than Baker-Mayfield. They ain't got no commercials. Zero. No commercials. The only people that probably get as much love as Baker Mayfield probably is Patrick Mahomes. You might be able to say Aaron Rodgers in there. But other than that, Tom Brady is a GOAT. But, he didn't have his heyday, kind of, so to speak. But as far as the young guys, the young dudes around, Baker Mayfield is his name rings out higher than all the dudes. We can go down a division. His name rings out way bigger than some of the young dudes like Tua, the kid in San Diego. I say San Diego, Los Angeles. Justin Herbert, name rings out way better than that, way bigger. David Carr out in Vegas. We're not even going to talk about the kid from the Giants. Sam Darnold. Baker Mayfield gets talked about way more than all those guys. Now, being talked about doesn't necessarily have to do with whether or not you're playing well. But here's the point. He was getting talked about more back then, and he wasn't even playing that well. Can you imagine what he's going to get talked about now? And he playing well? Come on now. Can you imagine what he's going to do when he talked about and he's playing well? He's going to be all over the screens. He already got 10, 15,000 commercials. And his commercials is funny. He got good commercials. Don't act like we ain't all been hanging out with the groceries on the top floor of an apartment building and you done got 65 different bags in your hand. You got the milk. You holding them on and you losing feeling slowly but surely creeping up your arms right up to your elbows. You're like, oh my gosh, I can't feel my fingers. Funny. I like the Thanksgiving one. I love the Thanksgiving one where he was getting the turkey. He was frying that turkey up. He was like, yeah, hold on. I'm going to get you some hors d'oeuvres out. I'm going to get that out early. I like that one. I like the seat cushion. I like when he was, hey, hurry up. It's going to rain. We got to get this stuff covered. I like that one. He got good commercials. I ain't going to lie. It was just kind of annoying when he wasn't really playing that well. And you just kept seeing him and you'd be like, I need you to complete these balls in the playoffs. I need you to complete these passes this wide open. But when he hitting that stuff down and you playing well and you're 10-4, the commercials get better. But you can't hate. The commercials is dope. But the thought process is this. It dawned on me as I'm watching the television, and these teams are using this reverse narrative. They're using a reverse psychology on us, and we're not quite understanding it. They was ready to accept the Browns last year. They was trying to sign the peace treaty last year. That's why the national media was so upset. The Browns, they messed me up. The Browns are not ready to contend. We're upset at them because they dropped the ball. They dropped the ball. They all that hype and all that talk. Okay. All that hype and all that talk, and it's the last time we're picking them. Now, you see what it is. They will not pick the Browns. And here's what you're going to see the rest of the year out. The Browns won't be picked to win any games. The Browns, they'll say who's the best chance. We saw it last week. Halftime shows, out of the contenders. Titans, Colts, Dolphins, Ravens. Who do you think is the most dangerous out of that crew? They'll say they like the Dolphins better, even though they got a rookie quarterback in Fitzmagic. And he's a walking interception. They'll say that they like the Dolphins better. Oh, the Ravens beat you twice. And even though you beat the Colts and you beat the Titans head to head, and you really touched and you really trounced the Titans, you really beat them, the brakes off them, right? They'll forget like you even got them 2 wins head to head. So you're not going to get any respect. They're going to make you prove it. But that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Because Baker plays well anyway when he has a chip on his shoulder. Because right now, I talked about it earlier in the earlier blog. Baker's playing like he's playing in Oklahoma right now. He act like he got a flag he want to plant somewhere. That's fine. We can do that. But here's the real thesis of this blog. You know, I jokingly, and not even jokingly, I said the Browns are America's team. Silently, the undertow has spoken. You know, when you look at the flex game of the Giants game, right? You look at Monday night and then turn around and come back on Sunday night. When you look at how they go flex these games and when you're flexing these games and the Browns are on national TV and it's going to be a really big game coming up against the Steelers, setting that up if the Steelers want to keep losing. The Browns, surface level, they may say, it's just the same old Browns, or, that's a nice story. But let's be clear. The Cleveland Browns are one of the favorite teams in the country right now. Now, I would say the Cleveland Browns probably are the most favorite team in the country. And here's the point. You got Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, who are an exciting team. They throw the ball all over the park. Patrick Mahomes is likable. They play an exciting brand of football. They got a nice fan base. They got an exciting fan base. They got the tradition. They got iconic uniforms. They come from a Midwest town. They come, they AFL, NFL merger type guys. Andy Reid is a good coach. They got all the stuff that you need to have the makings of a cult following. In the Midwest, the Kansas City Chiefs are the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, they got a nice following, man. They really got everything that you want to be a nice, solid franchise. But guess what? They don't talk about the Kansas City Chiefs like that on national TV. They talk about Patrick Mahomes like that, but they don't talk about the Kansas City Chiefs like that. They're not opening every show with the Kansas City Chiefs. They're not opening every single top 5 or every single show the week after the playoffs or the week after week 14 or 15. They have a bad game. They're not opening up. But what they are opening up with, well, did you see what the Browns did to the Titans? They are opening up with, oh, wow, did you see that game against the Ravens? Did you see how Baker was playing? That duel with Lamar Jackson and Baker-Mayfield. Did you see that? Hey, did you see how Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, they running the football? They opening up with that. Oh, were you impressed with the way the Browns did on Sunday Night Football? Did you see that? They're doing all those things. Those things that they're doing consistently. Those are the things that every single news outlet, that's Fox, that's ESPN, that's Stephen A., that's Colin-Cowherd, that's Skip, that's Shannon, all those guys are leading their shows off with them, and that's not even talking about the local people. You know how we get down local media. But that just goes to show you, those people don't give a you-know-what about us. You know what? They only move when ratings move. And it just goes to show you, the Browns move ratings. The Browns move the needle. The Browns move people's emotions. And whether you like it or not, Baker-Mayfield is a top 5 quarterback when it comes to marketing, when it comes to popularity. People rock with him. You can learn the hard way in this. You can't even really say nothing bad about Baker-Mayfield. Heck, I run my own channel. People be arguing with me to this day. I say Baker-Mayfield played bad 2, 3, 5, 6 months ago. They still be in the comment section like they're robots. I thought you said he played bad, G-Bush. Can't say nothing about Baker, right? He's identifiable. He's a man's man. Like, people like him. So he has a following. So when you look at the Browns, like I've said before, and I'm one of the people who's really carried this flag from Jump Street, is that the Browns are truly America's team, to be truthful about it. We the only team that got our team taken away, came back with the same jerseys, came back again in the league, was like, yo, don't worry about it. We'll get you your team back. We'll set something up, get your team, your jerseys, all that good stuff back, right? You know, we the only people in the country that got mascots that ain't even in the mascots that's famous. I grew up and didn't know that those guys that sat in the front row, like Pumpkinhead and some of these other dudes with the dog and Big Dog and all them dudes, them was regular people. Them are celebrities to me. I grew up in Canada. I'm looking around. I'm like, dog, these dudes are celebrities. I finally figured out who they was behind the mask. I was blown away. Tell me any other culture where you got that. And now I do know the Redskins, the Washington Redskins. I know the Hogs, right? But, they don't rock like we rock. You know what I'm saying? They don't got the same level. It's levels to this thing. So, I'm sitting here letting you know, just telling you right now, the Cleveland Browns come first week of the playoffs, when we get in these playoffs, watch the ratings. Watch the ratings. Watch what people gravitate to, and watch what's the game of the week. The Cleveland Browns are the game of the week, and I'm going to tell you right now. I don't want to play them. If I'm some other teams, I don't want to see the Browns, really. Because the way they playing offensively and the way they doing with Baker-Mayfield, I don't want to play them. They got momentum. Everything's a fair game right now. And right now, the Browns probably are the hottest team moving into the playoffs. And they got a lot of momentum, a lot of steam. And, like as I said, America's team, America's team, America's team. Lots of parallels between the Browns and the Dallas Cowboys in the 90s. Look at it. Started off with those 1-15 teams with Aikman, Irvin, and Emmitt Smith. Look at that. That offensive line. Look at that. The offensive line is comparable. Allen. You look at you can look at the Big Nate Newton. You can look at that, man. They had the running game. Look at the tight ends. Look at the way the Cowboys played, right? Look at the brand, the name style, and the brand, the way the Cowboys played, and look at the way the Browns played. And you can look at the ascension of the Browns as the same way. But I argue that Baker-Mayfield, in my opinion, has better arm talent than Troy Aikman. No knock. Troy Aikman won 3. No knock. No disrespect. But Baker could throw the football. I've always said he could throw the football. It's all about whether or not you can be accurate. And one of the things that was his thing coming out of college was he was accurate. We saw that his first year. We didn't see it his second year. He lost pocket presence his second year. He lost a lot of things the second year. But we've seen that progression and him stepping it up, keeping it moving as we move down the line. And I think right now, America's team is steamrolling. We rolling. I'm interested to see what these ratings look like as the Browns keep going. And I think we're working our way to a hell of a game against the Steelers. One of the best games of the season. Everybody in the Midwest is watching that game. As always, please hit the like, hit the subscribe button. And if you like my content, please continue to watch it. It's The Barbershop.